Hey everyone, this is Chef. Welcome back to Uma. Today we're cracking in on the long trainer aptitude test. The mild test and the medium test have gone okay. There's room for improvement here. I think the long test should hopefully be a little easier. It looks like more of a normal run. So before we think about how we're going to set a deck up, let's take a look at what we need to do. We've got bonus points for cooldown, Vanguard Spirit, Adrenaline Rush, and it's on. We've got bonus points for Stamp 800, Wit 800, and we have a bonus for 10 Spirit Bursts, just like in every other one. Stamp 800 should be fairly easy. This is a normal target that we aim for any long runner. Wit might be a little tricky, because you're incentivized to bring a lot of speed and stamina for long runners, and I'm not exactly sure where we're going to fit Wit in. But I do know that cooldown and adrenaline rush I can get off of the same card, the SSR Rice Shower card that comes from the main story. So before we jump into the long test, I want to go look at my trainees, and I want to find somebody who has either a speed boost or a wit boost, who is going to help make this a little bit easier. If we filter on longs, these are all of the trainees that we have who can run longs. Special week is maybe an option. 20% stam, 10% wit is kind of what we're looking for. Gold chip is 20%, 10%. That's okay. Grass is 20% speed, but no wit. But we're already using her for mediums, and I don't really want to do more Grass Wonder runs. Mayana is 20% stam, 10% guts. Creek is 10% stam, 20% wit, which looks like a great option. And then Matikane is 20% stam, 10% power. Nice Nature's 20% power, 10% wit. To me, Creek looks like a great option here. We've got 10% stam to help us get to 800. We have 20% wit to help us get to 800. We can run a fairly normal 3 speed deck. We can run maybe a single wit card and burst on wit fairly aggressively. And then we can run a 2 stam deck to see how close we can get to 800. So let's go ahead and sight this deck in. We're going to be doing the long test. We'll set up a career. We'll be doing it in Unity Cup so that we get our Spirit Bursts. And we will be using Super Greek. As far as legacies go, it's a decent opportunity to keep building on this long gold chip that we have. The blue sparks are okay. Stamina is kind of what we need. Speed, power are not super useful. But I would like the opportunity to build on that long spark, if possible. And then for our guest legacy, I want to take a look at anybody who has stamina and long sparks. We don't have any. Alright, we're going to have to sift through some of these then. What are options? I wouldn't mind just inheriting a ton of stamina, if possible. We don't really want power. That's not our goal for this run. Stam and speed is not really our goal for this run. That's 9-star stam on a medium. That's possible. That looks like all power and speed. Well, power, speed, stam. That's kind of all over the place. Triple power. And a lot of speed. I think this is going to be an ogre deal to get a ton of stamina out of it. And honestly, with 10% stamina growth and inheriting this much stamina, it's possible that we could try and run like a single stamina double wit deck. So let's see what that would look like. This is going to be Trainer Aptitude Long. We know we need 3 speed cards just to finish a career, so it's going to be Kita-san, it's going to be Vodka, and it's going to be Biko. Those are just the 3 best speed cards that we have. We know that we're going to need Rice Shower's stamina card. On the card itself, we have access to Adrenaline Rush, and then if we name the team after Rice, we will get access to Cooldown, assuming that we can finish the Unity Cup. And between our inheritance and this card, which admittedly is not a great stamina card, but it is an okay stamina card, I think we can try and run 2 wit. So let's take a look at what our options are. We've got our Fine Motion, which is great, and then we've got a choice between Matikane, who's got Scenario Link, which is useful but not amazing, and we can also pick between Marvelous Sunday, who I think is a better wit card in terms of raw stats. We've got 18 friendship, 35 mood effect, and then 42 specialty priority, versus 2047, but only 35. We're more interested in a wit card that gives us decent hints and shows up at wit more frequently, because that means we're going to get more energy out of it, and it's going to smooth over our training. So in this case, I'm perfectly fine taking Marvelous Sunday here over Matikane. I don't think that the scenario link is that important. And this is going to be what I'm going to try and run. My guess is that we're going to have a little bit of difficulty getting to 800 stamina, but these 3 speed cards should give us enough speed to clear career. We don't need to get to 800 speed. We can finish a career with like 600 to 650. The wit is going to smooth out our trainings. It's going to make us less reliant on RNG because we can pass turns on wit instead of taking risky trainings. And then as long as we can finish the Unity Cup and we can beat Team Zenith, we should have some pretty good hints coming through from Rice's stamina card, even though that card is not amazing in terms of the numerics on it. So let's see how this goes. And then because it is currently Sunday, I guess you're watching this on Monday, but I'm recording it on Sunday. If we have extra time and we clear the long test in one shot, I'm going to go back and, holy cow, good wit training. I'm going to go back and try and redo the medium test or the mild test. That's going to be our second run for the day, if we can, good stamina training, if we can one-shot the long test. So we'll see how it goes. First couple turns, all we're doing is building friendship. We're unlocking spirit training, just looking for good spirit training options. That's a decent training. It's only 1 spirit training, but it is 3 friendships. Even more spirit training. We probably don't need Nimble Nav on Creek, so I'd rather just take skill points so that we can buy all of the skills we want at the end of the run. Power is 1, Guts is 2, Speed is 2. Speed's a more important stat than Guts, and it works on Bika's friendship, so let's train a Speed here. And then we're starting to look at wit opportunities, because we're getting into dangerous energy territory. That is a very good stamina. That's a very bad wit. This is on above average stamina training for this point in the run. I would take a 7% on it and then just rest. Ideally, you don't want your first rest to be like 4 or 5 turns into your run. But in this case, I'd say every training that we've taken has been a pretty good training. This wit at 10%, I don't really feel compelled to gamble on. Like, we could take it, but then what are we doing next turn? We're either resting or we're taking another wit, and if we fail this wit, it's pretty bad. So let's just take a rest and get it out of the way. Plus 70 is excellent energy recovery. It's a good stamina. It's a better stamina than wit, and I wouldn't mind spending down energy. It's a good power. It's an okay guts. It's a bad wit. We haven't even thought about being able to do recreation yet because these trainings have been so good, which is a little bit of like suffering from success. We'd like to fix our mood, but not if every single one of these trainings is great. As soon as we see the option, though, definitely don't need mile corners on a Super Creek. As soon as we see the option, I would like to recreate. The game just has to show us a bad training first. This is maybe our first, like, average to slightly below average training. It's a stamina training that puts Kita-san to Spirit Burst and also puts her to Gold Friendship. That's nice. It also works on Sunday's Friendship so that we can unlock her recreation faster. It's an okay Guts training. It's an okay Speed training. But given where we're at energy-wise, I wouldn't mind just taking a Recreate here, maybe getting a little energy back, and then rolling a better training next turn. Would much rather have stamina to help us hit that stamina threshold. It's a superb wit training. I really don't see any reason to take anything else. This may also just end up being a crazy Team Trials runner, if we get super lucky. We're already chasing a lot of stuff that would make a Team Trials runner good. A lot of stamina. I wouldn't mind unlocking Fine Motion to get some wit trainings. Our goal is not team trials here, but we do have a creek that we could potentially improve on. We can see what the comparison looks like when we're done. We don't need to buy any skills. We don't really have anything worth buying. So let's jump into our debut. Stats should be fine. Speed's a little low, but good enough to win a debut. Target Insight, not really something I have any plan to buy. Single Spirit Training, double Spirit Training, single. Given where energy's at, I wouldn't mind taking the Wit here. If we take that power training and then we see an even better training next turn, it would be fairly risky to take it, so let's just build our energy up a little bit. This is also a good turn to pass on Wit. Speed's not that great, so we can keep rolling Wit training here. I don't really think I need corner recovery, so let's take the 15 skill points. That's another really good Wit training. Hey, we're A-okay just rolling Wit over and over again, honestly. It's helping us get to that 800 threshold by the end of the run. It's slowly bringing our speed up. This is a case where my speed is so low that I think I might actually grab speed. I think it's going to be a problem if we get to our classic races, and that's not higher. This is also maybe our first bad training, which is impressive, because we're already into late August. Let's also swap over to the agenda so we can keep an eye on race schedule. I think it's a fine turn to just take Wit on. I don't feel like it's so bad that I would want to look for an open race to run. We could take Stamina here. It works on Fine Motion's Friendship and Spirit Training a bit, and I don't like that Wit has no Spirit Training on it. That's because Friendship is not that important, and even if we do take this training, we can take a training risk-free next turn. So I guess we'll jump on the Stamina, just because I want to unlock Rainbow Trainings on those Wit cards as fast as possible. And it also technically builds our Spirit Training faster, even if it's fairly minor. But then this is probably just a better Stamina training for the sake of building friendships. It's an okay turn to take off on Wit as well. If we take the Stamina, our next train is fairly risky. And this does build more friendships and preserves energy. I think I'm okay just taking Wit here. We've had really nice RNG so far. I don't feel like I am in a rush to grab training off of bad stats. And then as far as what we burst on, I would really not like to burst on Stamina. I think we're going to get to 800 Stamina no problem if we're already at 245 before we hit our first inheritance. I would probably like to burst on either Speed or Wit. So I'm going to take this turn off to grab Power. We can train next turn still, and I would rather see that burst go somewhere else. There's 3 hints for corner recovery. We probably don't need to buy that with the state of our Stamina. We definitely want to take Blue Bloom as a name. That's what's going to give us cooldown. It's a below average speed training with 10% risk on it. It's a really nice Stamina training, but I don't want to consume the burst, and it's a really bad Wit. I feel like this is a rest. I don't want to take a 9% speed on a speed that's this bad, and then see a good training next turn and have to rest for it. I think I'd rather just rest now, and wait for a burst on speed specifically. Mood down, stam down is fine. Those are all very bad. We may just take a speed training here to start patching our speed up, even though there's no bursts on it, because I really don't want to take this guts training. I don't think that's a very good guts training at all. Please get off of Stamina with bursts. That's not where I want them. I don't really want to take this power either. But the Wit is not good. We could recreate this turn to get back to great, but I don't think I've seen any of Kitasan's events yet, so I know those are all still in the deck somewhere. I just really don't want to burst on this Stamina. I don't think we're going to need the help. So let's take a recreate. Maybe we'll get a little bit of energy back. Good. I'm A-okay with that. This is a speed training worth taking, because we're working on spirit trainings at the same time, and it works on Marvelous Sunday's friendship. It's better than the guts for sure. It's better than every other training, so we definitely take that. That's going to start to sort out our speed issues. And then we could think on late December about potentially... Do I want to gamble here? Nah, I don't think I need to gamble here. I'd rather just take the plus 10 free energy. We could think potentially about running the hopeful stakes on late December if our trainings are bad. There's our burst on speed that we wanted, and that's going to be just in time for the Unity Cup. We're passing up a really nice power to take it, but I would rather have the speed. We'll work on friendships later. This also consumes a burst before our first Unity Cup round. It's going to give us a nice little attribute bump on Kita-san specifically. And it frees us up to run in like the medium slot or something like that. And then a burst on guts is obviously not what we want to do, so let's take a speed on our last training. It bumps fine motion up to being ready to burst. It bumps vodka's friendship and spirit training up. I don't feel like I need to run the hopeful stakes here. We can find fans later, and that's a good enough training to warrant taking it versus taking a race. Team is looking okay. We have an Eon Mile, we have an Eon Long, we have us on medium. Dirt and Sprint are kind of a wash, but they usually are unless you burst on Haru specifically. Odds are looking pretty good. There's always the possibility that you lose these to RNG, but at least Hazuna's prediction is pretty optimistic about it. There we go. 3, 1, and 1. A good start. And then we're into Classic here. We'll be taking our free plus 20 energy. That's a beautiful speed training. We don't even think about taking that. We just press that button. And if I could get to around 400 speed, I would feel pretty comfortable running every other race in Classic Year, and then we could focus on our wit a little bit. Okay, that's pretty bad. Obviously can't take that. 37, we're not going to take wit. This is going to be a rest. Plus 50 is good. I would rather have the speed and just train stamina here. Seems like a good opportunity to patch speed up, and then all of these are quite bad. This could potentially be a Recreate turn to get back to great. I do feel like if we see a Kita-san event in like the next 2 turns, we're going to be pretty disappointed we took Recreation, but like what else am I supposed to do? Take this wit training? This is not a good wit training. I would rather just Recreate and maybe get energy back. Sure. I would also love to take speed wit out of that over guts. And then we're into Sumayer Stakes, which is going to give us our practice poor condition. We can't do anything about avoiding that, so it's just something that we're going to carry with us all through Classic Year. Somebody in the comments on one of the last Super Creek videos, though, did give me an interesting heads up, which is that Practice Perfect and Creek's Shining Brightly condition that she gets after winning the Kikuka show actually stack. I thought they were the same thing. They are not the same thing. So if we see Kita-san pop up with the event that gives Practice Perfect, or we see Fine Motion pop up with the event that gives Practice Perfect, we will be taking that. And it's going... Wow, good wit training. And it's going to make our trainings much more resilient. Because we're going to have a lot of built-in failure protection. We also probably need to run like a race here pretty soon. I don't think we even have the fans to get into... Oh, we do have the fans to get into the Satsuki show. Okay, let's not worry about that too much then. We would like to try and do that or the Derby. And that should sort our fans out. I think a burst on wit would be fine. That's a good speed training though. That's an interesting training. We get a lot of energy back by bursting on wit. But I would like to work on these friendships, because we've got summer break coming up. I think I would take that, and then I would wait to see if I can spend that burst somewhere else. Neat training. Alright, here's our inspiration. We're gonna get like 70 stamina out of this or so. And then in Senior April Year Early, we'll get like another 70. Spam 61. Great. So we're at 348, 322. That is enough to run the Satsuki Show if we wanted to. Both of these trainings are fairly middling. It would be nice to get to Spirit Burst on Marvelous Sunday here, but I would really like to take the opportunity to run and win a G1 so I don't have to think about this fan threshold anymore. Winning either the Satsuki Show or the Derby and the Kikuku Show and the Arima Kinan should take care of our unique unlocks. So let's see how we're looking. We're a little weak on power, but that was expected. I think I can afford to take this turn off. None of those trainings are amazing. They're two pretty good trainings, but none of them are fantastic. So let's just go knock a G1 out. Second is probably good enough, and by a head too. But that takes care of fan threshold for the Kikuku Show, so let's not worry about that from now on. And then we can just train straight into summer break. That's a very good speed training. I'm not even going to look at my other options. This is going to be a rest because we took a good training last time. Options are... It's an okay stam training. It's an okay guts wit training. If we were at like 80% energy, I think we'd be fine taking that wit, but that is not the world that we live in. It's a really good speed training again. It's actually such a good speed training, I'm starting to get a little worried about my stamina. But I'll take that. It's not amazing numerically, but it's a ton of progress on spirit training, which is very nice. And then for these last two turns, we're probably looking to wit twice. And if one of them's a burst, that would be really nice. That's not a great wit. That's a really good guts. Okay, so we could take guts and then we could rest. It gets vodka to Spirit Burst. It builds Bika's friendship. It does a lot of stat development for a Unity Cup team. And it puts us at like half energy and then we can just rest going into summer break. I think I'm okay with that. It doesn't work towards any of our broader goals for the run, but it is just a really nice training. Extra tank is also a precursor into Adrenaline Rush, so it's nice to grab that. And then here, unless this is a phenomenal training somewhere, like better than what we would expect to get out of summer break, we rest. It's not, so we rest. There's our plus 50, here's our Unity Cup round, and then we're into summer break. Team is looking pretty... Kitasan's up to C already, which is impressive. There should be no way that we lose that long race. We've got D runners on dirt, D runners on sprint, D runners on mile. Medium is extremely weak. I don't think I need to switch any of this around. I think it looks fine as is. That's a pretty dodgy prediction though. Maybe we take our middle option early, and then we roll top the rest of the run. Sure. Let's just make sure that we play Unity Cup a little safe, because we do need to win in order to get our cooldown skill unlock. Good stamina training, decent wit training. Given that we're at full energy, I'll just take the stamina here. We do need to build stamina to 800 over time. Being at 400 in summer break for classic year is a good sign that we'll hit 800 by the end of the run, but we'll keep on it. Wit at 280 is definitely lagging behind, though. That is not a wit training I'd like to take. That's not a speed training I'd like to take. This is fine for stamina, again. It puts Marvelous Sunday at burst. It puts fine motion into rainbow territory. Burst on guts is not really what we want to be doing. And given that speed is fairly good right now, I'd be fine starting to prioritize wit and just taking wit trainings anytime speed and stamina don't look amazing. Let's grab 10 power. A burst on stamina is kind of interesting to think about, especially because the rest of these trainings are pretty putrid. I don't think we need to spend bursts on speed anymore, and we do need to spend 10 bursts eventually. This one also switches on digital for getting to her own spirit burst, so I think I'm fine taking that. It would be nice to get stamina to the point where we know that we can stop training it, because then we can allocate all of our bursts into wit or something like that. So this is going to be a rest, because we're low on energy, unless we get a good energy recovery. No, we already got the Kyoto-san event. We can't get a good energy recovery. This is an okay wit, actually. I wouldn't mind bumping Biko to gold territory, and then just resting next turn. I think that training does a lot for us. If I see a triple rainbow next turn, I'm going to be pretty disappointed, but maybe we'll just hit an energy recovery and it won't matter. Good. Maybe we'll just hit a rainbow wit training and it won't matter. Because we absolutely take this, and then it makes our next training risk-proof. Or, you know, as risk-proof as it can be with a practice poor condition. Okay. Let's grab 10 wit, because we'd like to try and make it to 800 if we can. A burst on guts is not what we want to be doing. All of these trainings look quite bad, but I also don't really want to rest yet. But also if I take a really underwhelming speed and then we get a good training November early, I'm going to be pretty sad about it. Is there a race today? There's the Kyoto Daishoten. We haven't won it. It's going to put us in the same energy hole as speed, actually, now that I think about it. I don't think that's the right play. I think our energy is too shaky for that. Let's just take a full rest. We'll get 50 back. And then we can go back into training later. We'll grab skill points instead of more power here so that we can buy our golds later. And then just to make sure we have enough cushion, let's pick up, not corner recovery, let's pick up extra tank. Because extra tank is a precursor to adrenaline rush, which we're going to need to buy later on anyway. And then if we want a little bit of extra velocity, we could pick up long straightaways, and that's all I'm really comfortable spending on at this point. It's possible for straightaway adept to get a little cheaper, so we'll just wait on that. Actually, I might want to pick up non-standard distance too, because non-standard distance works on the Kikukusho and the Arima Kinan, and it really means we wouldn't have to think about stamina. Yeah, why not? I just really do not want to lose either of these races to stamina, even though we're at 446. The Kikukusho in particular is just a race of survival. If you have more stamina, you win. See? Oh man, can you imagine if I was wrong? I'd be so embarrassed. Alright, they're shining brightly. So if we find the opportunity to get practice perfect, and we have 2 cards in the deck that can give it to us, I'm gonna take it, because it means that we should be able to train safely, all the way down to like here on our energy bar, which would be really nice. That's a double rainbow and a burst on speed, but it's not where I want to spend bursts. And this training is also fine. It continues to work on spirit training a bit, and it preserves energy. I think I'm fine playing a little greedy on my bursts. That's a pretty bad speed. In fact, all of these trainings are quite bad. We could take this wit training. It puts Nishino Flower to burst. We have only spent 3 spirit bursts so far. That's not as high as I would like it to be, so we'll take the wit again. I definitely don't need the energy here, so we could take 20 power, 20 skill points, and a hydrate hint. Or we could take 5 speed, 5 skill points. I'd rather have more skill points. We'll grab that. But it's unfortunate we couldn't spend down our energy to take advantage of it a bit more. And then all of these trainings are also quite bad. I'm really tempted to spend a burst on power just so that we have it for the next Unity Cup round. But I don't think that's the right play. I think we need to be more conservative with our bursts. And make sure we're spending them on the right things. Is there a race that I could run? If we won the Stayers Stakes, we have. If we won the Challenge Cup, we have not. We may run a G3 today. We're also only at 34,000 fans, so we may need to win this and the Arima Keenan to get our unique unlock. Let's knock the Challenge Cup trophy out of the way. I don't think any of those trainings are really worth taking versus potential stat boosts and skill points from a race, and also just unlocking some trophies to get us some more carrots. I have heard, for what it's worth, for talking about future polls, that we're actually going to be pretty close to 30k by the Matikane banner that's coming at the end of the month. And I've also heard that that banner is really good for the next scenario. I can't tell you why, because I've just read internet hearsay about it, and I haven't looked into it myself. But that banner is going to be coming with free pulls, which means that we need less than 30,000 carrots to actually hit pity on it. And that may be our opportunity to start spending some carrots on support cards and upgrading the deck. So that would be about 2 weeks from now, looking at the timeline on the uma.moe site. We'll see how we're looking at that point, because we're like 20,000 carrots right now. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, I'm not positive. And I'm kinda getting itchy to pull on some more support cards. It would not take a lot to get our support card library to the point where we could be generating consistent A rank runners and maybe starting to punch into A+ territory. And I think that would be a lot of fun to do. There's our unique, just to cover off potentially getting rushed. Not really gaining on Ines Fujin much here, but I think our top speed should be better given that this is just a G3. Looks like we're slowly going to make our way around her. That should be a win. Yeah, we're in great shape. Alright, so not a bad turn. Not a great turn, but getting a trophy out of the way, getting a little bit of a stat bump, and building on our fans a little bit, I think is very productive. We can definitely gamble here. This is an opportunity to actually avoid taking energy because we're going to overflow our energy at the end of the year, so let's take straightaway Adept. That puts us at max hints for it, so we can actually just buy that now. It's never going to get cheaper. Gives us a little bit of extra velocity on straights, which is fine. And then let's go run the Arima. Third is a little rough. Losing by a nose and half a length. We are gonna need to run another race or two in senior year if we want to hit our unlocks. I think. Because I think it's like 60, 70, 120. I'll double check. C's across the board looks great. I don't think we need to shift anybody around. We definitely have the stamina to be the long runner. We look great for punching up against rank 13. Good. And then let's hop into senior year. We still need to hit, I think, 6 more bursts, because we're only at 4 right now. We might even still be at 3. We'll find out shortly. Let's still take the 30 energy, even though it's going to overflow a bit. That's exactly where I want my bursts on Wit to go, but it's so energy inefficient. I think I just have to tank it. It's a fine power training, but we have a shot at getting Wit to 800 here if we're careful with our bursts. So let's take that, even though it's not a good spend of energy. A hint for head-on rocks. Raffle doesn't matter. Team rank up to B. Mood down I can fix later. Single rainbow speed is not the kind of thing I'm interested in. None of these are the thing I'm interested in. Can we race today? We could do the American JCC. You know what? Let me pause for 1 second and just double check fan thresholds to make sure that I know them. Alright, fans are 60, 70, 120. We do need to run one more race here to nail all of our unlocks, so let's grab that. We could afford to come like third here, but obviously we would like to win because it unlocks the trophy. Forgot to buy head on. No. We need to go buy head on immediately after we get out of this race. If I lose, I'm going to be very mad. That's an unforced error, not buying head on a pace chaser before a race. It's okay, we'll just win. Just be good instead of bad. We're in front of the pace chasers. Getting a little close to a potential pace down here if we're not careful. That looks like a pace down to me, but it's a pace down for everybody around us too, so it's fine. Good recovery. And then pace down should be ending around now. So we can advance up as much as we want. We still haven't seen straightaway adept go off. It looks like we're just going to be first. I'd say that's a fairly bullish sign for winning the race overall. And then when we hit late race and we start to accelerate, are we just going to leave everybody else in the dust? Yes, except for whoever else this is running next to us. Is that Tannhauser? Yeah, she's keeping up fairly well, but I think we're just going to be faster. There we go. She ain't got it. Alright, there's a nice late straightaway adept proc, but at least we got part of it, I suppose. It definitely could have showed up at some more effective points, but we'll still take it. Alright, give me my fans. That puts us in range of upgrading our unique. 2 to 3. Winning the Osaka High will put us in range of upgrading our unique again. That's a good Wit Burst, and it's only a single rainbow speed. We'll take that. I'm a little worried about stamina. We may need to start bursting on stamina again to get to 800. But I think that's a fine Wit training. Prepared to Pass is also a nice hint. That's a really nice Wit training too, man. Holy cow. We do need to burst still. Let me think about this. We've used up 6 Spirit Bursts. We have a 7th sitting right here. This puts McQueen to burst. This puts Taiki to burst, and also builds Bakshin. This build, it's overflowing our energy, but I think we have to take this Wit training. It's just a really good Wit training. We need to get our speed a little higher. We need to get to like 600, maybe 650 before the end of the run. But we can do that in summer break if we see a good like triple speed training. And also, given that our stamina needs work, I think I'm just going to take a naked rainbow stamina training, because it's going to build our stamina a bit. This is marginally better on building spirit bursts, but I can take 1 turn off to chip away at our energy a little bit, so that later, when I keep taking these rainbow wit trainings, we're getting a little bit of energy out of them. We definitely want to buy Head On, my best friend. I don't really want to touch any of these others. Prepared to Pass is like fine, but 144 is a little expensive, and I want to make sure I can afford all of my gold skills. Let's go run the Osaka High. Speed is a little low here. I would like to have it higher. It's good enough to win the Osaka High, but I think it's going to give us problems in the finale, especially if we beat Zenith in the Unity Cup. So let's see if we can do something about it. Inspiration event is going to help our stamina out significantly. Should be another 60 to 80 or so, depending on how lucky we get. 73, I'll take that. Corner adept nibble navigator hints, I'll take those too. Up to 4. A burst on stamina and we're at 574, I think I'm okay with. I think that's fine. It also spends a burst, which is nice. Do I want to buy Corner Adept? Not at just hint level 1. I think we can skip that. We should have more than enough stamina to finish the Spring Tenno. We're at 607, we have a unique recovery, we have a white recovery, we should be A-okay. That's 9 lengths. It also means we hit our fan threshold before we can get to the Autumn Tenno and the Arima Kingdom. So we don't have to worry about the last level of our unique upgrade either. That's a good speed training. I think I have to start taking speed trainings like that just to shore up my speed before the end of the run. This is exactly what I want out of a wit training, but I don't think I can pass up a double rainbow for the sake of actually finishing a career. And then if we see a burst on wit next turn, I'd be so happy to take it. It's not a burst on wit, it's a rainbow wit though. Given how close we are to summer break, I'd rather take a full rest. 30 is disappointing, but we could wit twice and basically get to 100. That's another really good speed training. Holy cow. I think I gotta take that and then rest again. It bumps up King Halo to Spirit Burst as well, which is a nice little side effect of that training. Yeah, it's a triple speed. I'm not gonna take it at 16. It completely screws up our summer break, but man, that's a good training. It's another 48 speed. We wouldn't have to train speed again for the rest of the run if we took that. But I'm not willing to fail it, and the burst on wit here does not give us enough energy to go into summer break comfortably. So we'll just take the full rest. We'll hope we don't get 30. We don't get 30. We'll knock a Unity Cup out, and then we'll see what summer break has in store for us. Team is looking fine. We have a B Agnes on dirt. That's going to hold things down over there. Everybody else is C. No real need to touch any of that. And then this is the round that takes us to rank 5. So we would really like to win this for max attributes in the Zenith Showdown in late December. Good. This has been a really nice run. It's a wonderful change of pace from the Grass Wonder medium runs that we had yesterday. So burst on speed, I'd rather not. It's a good stamina training that brings Taiki up to Spirit Burst. Let's take that. We know we have 2 Rainbow Wit trainings in the deck, and we know we have 2 or 3 Spirit Bursts floating around, so if they show up on Wit, we can just take them. Like, this is perfect. I'm more than happy to consume a Wit Burst on that training. It also bumps Matikane up to being able to burst herself. I'm happy to take that again. Oh my god, a triple burst on speed? Holy cow. There's a part of me that actually wants to take that because it basically guarantees that we get to 10 spirit. It literally guarantees we get to 10 spirit bursts. I didn't know we had 4 spirit bursts active right now, but I'm still going to take the wit because I'd rather get wit to 800. Let's just keep managing our energy, and then if we see like a triple rainbow late August, I think we'll be very excited. Can you imagine? It's not a good enough speed training, though. It's only Kitas on there, and it doesn't really do anything for Spirit Bursts. Hey, this also doesn't do anything for Spirit Bursts, but it recovers energy, which is worth doing. And it also means we come out of summer break with full energy. We're Team Rank S already, if you needed any further evidence that this has been a great run. We get Practice Perfect for free. Holy cow, and then we get a double speed training? I don't think Wit's going to get to 800. I think Wit is going to get really close. I don't think it's going to get to 800. Stamina will, though. We hit like 2 more rainbow trainings on stamina or a single burst, and it's getting there no problem. All of those trainings are bad. Do we have any races that we could run that we haven't won yet? We've won the all-comers. No other races. I'm going to wit anyway, just to preserve energy. We're not so low on energy that we want to take a full rest. Professor of Curvature hints we're probably not going to take. There's one of the rainbows on stamina that we wanted. It's a really underwhelming rainbow, though. It's just rice there. I think we still take it to make sure that we get to 800. We only need about 30 more stamina until we're guaranteed to get it through going through the last 3 career turns. We could buy It's On at this point because we need that for score. Let's lock that in. Let's go finish the Tenno show. Good. It feels like our speed is just barely good enough to be winning these races. I think our margins are very small, but they're big enough. And then I need to see some crazy bursts on wit here. Oh my god, please, your mood, please. This is going to be recreation, just to fix whatever is going wrong here. Good. And Claw Machine is great, so that pushes us to great mood. It also gives us a little bit of extra energy recovery, assuming that we don't fumble it completely. Let's grab a large Taiki. Get it banked. And then I think if we get like one other plush, that guarantees a great result. We'll just grab something that's close, because I didn't see any gold flashes. Okay. Gold, gold, gold. All 3 gold. I guess I'll grab vodka. Because I'm not sure that I can click the button and then release the button fast enough to get that winning ticket. Okay. We should still be a rainbow big win for that, because we got one of the big plushies. Yeah, alright. So that's like plus 20 energy. It brings mood back up to great. That's exactly what we wanted to get out of that turn. Straight away recovery hints don't matter. We're not going to buy them. Speed and power. A burst on speed. I think we might need to start thinking about just consuming them. We're at 9. I would really like to just lock in my 10th burst and then not have to worry about it anymore. And if that means we don't get wit to 800, then we don't get wit to 800. Wit up to 5. This is a... we may actually want to rest this turn, because we have the last 3 turns coming up. Hey, this is a good stamina training. It's not amazing, but if we can get this stamina training in the final 3 turns, we'll still hit 800 for that. Let's take a rest, just to refill completely. This is the final level of our unique upgrade. This is the Arima. It occurs to me that we actually never got Adrenaline Rush out of Rice Shower. So we're going to be down 1200. But as long as we can win the Unity Cup finals, then we'll at least get cooldown. Rice is technically RNG to give Adrenaline Rush. Sometimes she just gives extra tank instead. So we do need to high roll on getting that specifically. And in this run we haven't, but a lot of other things have gone correct in this run, so I think we should be okay. Team is covered in B rank runners, which is great. I may even want to move one of you to medium. Wow, I didn't even know you could max their stats. That's the first time I've seen a maxed stat on one of my runners. Holy cow. Sunday, can you run longs? You're long B? Let's have you come over to longs, and we'll bring McQueen over to mediums. And then we'll bump Kita-san up to being our ace. I just want extra padding on the medium slot, so this gives us a B in dirt, a B in long, a B in medium. Because I don't trust myself to win it. And then sprint mile, like maybe we're competitive enough, maybe we're not. We're getting a plus 50 attribute boost to all of this. This is probably the strongest we've been to face down Team Zenith ever. So it would be disappointing to lose, but it's not impossible. Okay, never mind. Holy cow, that is a good career so far. All we have to do is not fumble in the finals. It's entirely possible that this Super Creek is going to be a better Team Trials runner than the one we currently have, even though it wasn't our goal. I think I take this Rainbow Stamina just to keep bumping it towards 800. I don't need to consume the bursts. I'm already at 10. Which is a nice little bit of insurance. Good. I don't think there's any way we're getting Wit 800, though. I think we probably need better support guards to be getting Wit 800 with this current setup. It's another okay stamina training, but at this point we're guaranteed to hit Stam 800. So I might just want to dump some stats into speed or power. I think speed is fine. We might even be able to get to like 800 speed, 800 stamina, which would be a very nice runner. Go do the semis. And then we'll see what we get for the finals. Imagine like a triple rainbow speed training. Holy cow. Oh, clip it. There's no point bursting on Wit. We're not going to get to 800. But obviously we have to take our call. Wow, Stam's at 768. Oh, we might not hit Stam. Oh, that's so sad. We needed to take Stam last turn. Do your math. You're going to get... I'm not pausing the video. I'm doing math on stream. You're going to get plus 12 from winning the finals. You're going to get plus 10 from winning the Unity Cup. What is your friendship with Etsuko like? Ooh, you're not getting anything from her. And then you're going to get plus 5 from finishing your career. So you're going to be at 12, 20, you're going to be at plus 28. You're going to be at like 790 stamina. That's so sad. That's so sad. It would be disrespectful to not take this speed training. Oh, I'm closing my eyes and I'm pressing stamina. That's so sad. We had a goal. We need to follow our goal. Getting an extra 50 speed is just good for rank, but it's not nearly as good as getting 1,000 points out of stamina. That's so sad. I needed to do better math on the damn semifinal turn, man. Oh, that's so frustrating. That's so frustrating. But the core philosophy of these videos from day one has been to make a plan and stick to your plan. And our plan here was to hit 800 stamina because this is a long trainer aptitude test runner. And so that's what we're going to do. Also, we might not even necessarily win the finals because we have to deal with Bitter Glace and Little Kokon. And then you'd be like, well, what was the point of doing that math anyway? Obviously, we're going to watch the finals for this run, though. This has been a super lucky run. Are we in a long finals? No, we should be in a medium finals. We didn't really run any extra long races. One of these days we do need to make sure we run a long finals to finish our trophy cabinet, but trophy cabinet is not something that I'm working on right now. We'll probably do that later. But it's on. Just don't hit a pace down and waste it, please. That looks like a pace down, but at least it hit everybody else. Pace down should be ending now. Did you just hit a second one? Pace down should be ending now. There's no way we're still in pace down at this point. Good straightaway add up trigger. Now if we hit head on, I think we're in the clear. Stam recovery doesn't matter. Our stam is fine. We just need to hit head on right at that late race transition. And then we need to not let anybody else catch up to us ever. Show me head on. Show it to me. Show me head on. Okay, it's a little late, but I think we're still going to extract value from that. I'm very concerned about how fast my two rival runners are right now. I'm really concerned about how fast my two rival runners are right now. We may be in trouble. I'm obviously burning alarm clocks on this. But that is a fairly substantial gap to make up. Roughly the same result. It's significantly worse. Okay, so we got blocked. Come on, show me gold. Show me gold. Fourth? Ah, son of a... Couldn't quite close it out at the end, but that's still a really good career. We do still get cooldown at least. We still hit 800 stam at least. Just barely. So let's go buy cooldown. And then we're into spark mode. So if we would like to get good sparks, ignited spirit speed would be great. This is a long runner with head on. We wouldn't mind buying other pace chaser sparks. Good opportunity to buy like prepared to pass, and that spends us down very efficiently. Nimble Navigator gets worse the further up you run, so I'm fine skipping that. We can't really afford anything else. I think this may still be A. We'll see. Not this rank, but the rank after this for the... It's an okay long runner. One stam too long is a little short of where I'd like it to be, but... Alright, show me trainer aptitude. If this isn't A, it's really close to A. Sure. Sure. We were this close, man. We were this close. If we had hit the wit, we could have done it. If our rating had been a little better, we could have done it. I think this deck has the sauce. Let's run it back. Let's do exactly the same run. If we had gotten Rice to give us the hint for Adrenaline Rush instead of just a hint for extra tank, we're so in this. We can't buy anything in the shop. Take me off of Dirt Test. We're still working on long. There is an A rank runner in here, man. Do I want to change anything about the deck? I feel like the deck worked great. I don't think I need to change a thing. The only thing I wish I could change was having more copies of my wit cards to smooth over my wit a bit. But I think we just run the same thing back and we hope for slightly better RNG, and then we're in there. Yeah, start me again. Mile and medium redos are just going to keep getting pushed to further and further in the future. But I feel the potential for long A inside of me right now. That's a great speed training to start with. That's a great wit training to start with, boys. We're back. it's exactly the same run as last time. Oh baby. When the RNG is hot, you do not stop playing. Okay. Okay, good. We're chilling. Let's not get too excited and like make stupid mistakes. Let's just head down, focus on getting the best run possible out of what we've got in front of us. That's a great speed training. It's an okay speed training, but like 3 friendships and a spirit training at the same time is pretty good. I don't need to tell you that that's a phenomenal wit training. Show me. Show me good. Okay, it's our first bad training. And even this speed is not that bad. Even this power is not that bad. This seems like a good opportunity to recreate and get mood patched up, though. We definitely don't need to gamble on slow metabolism right now, so let's just take energy. That's a good stamina training. It's a good wit training, but we don't need to preserve energy right now. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. These are all just okay. We could just roll wit here. Our other trainings have been really good. This is just a safe wit training. It builds Vodka's friendship up a little bit, so we unlock rainbows faster. Team rank F. Good. I would much rather have the guts and skill points. It's okay. It's good. It's also good. This actually isn't a horrible guts training to take. I would rather have guts than power because it's building more friendship, and it also has Biko in there. I'm happy to take that guts training given that our energy is very full. It's really nice that we took wit on the last turn, otherwise our next training would be risky. That's mood to great. That's an excellent stamina training, and we can still train safely next turn. Everything has gone split. That's even a good guts training. Oh, man. So if we take this guts training, first of all, we might fail. We've failed 2 sub 10% trainings on Grass Wonder yesterday. But it also means we rest immediately after coming out of our make debut. On the other hand, it's enough friendship with Kita-san to put her into rainbow territory, which we're not going to be chasing rainbow speed, but having rainbow speed available on just otherwise good speed trainings is useful. It builds Biko's friendship, it does a lot of unity training for us, and it builds up a few core stats before our debut. I would risk this guts training. Good. And then we're into debut race. Extra tank is 3 hints for a skill that we will need to buy later on. And I would... Oh, you should take your stamina, because your stamina was so close last run. I don't think you can afford to not take stam. I think you just need to chase stam and wit every opportunity you have, even if it winds up costing you race wins here and there. We don't need to buy extra tank for a recovery. Also, there's no long debut races. So this is just crossing fingers. Our speed and power are a little low, but stamina and wit are perfect. Third is nasty, but we can fix this. This is okay, we can fix it. It doesn't kill the run. All of our luck so far has been phenomenal. We're gonna be okay. Switch to the agenda. This has to be a rest, no matter how good the trainings are, and that's a good stamina training. It has to be a rest. And then the first bad training we see, we're running a debut. It doesn't matter. Not good enough, not good enough. None of these are probably good enough. That power training's okay, but it's not phenomenal. This wit training is fine, but we're at full energy. Debut me. No medium debut? Okay, then we take the power training. It's okay, it's okay. All of these are fine. Show me a medium debut? No medium debut. Oh, you're killing me. This is probably just a fine wit to preserve energy, because I don't really like any of those other trainings as far as building spirit training goes. That was also the event chain that can give us Adrenaline Rush, and we did not get it. So that's unfortunate. That's not a good enough speed training to take. That's a good enough wit training to take if there's not a medium debut race, and there's not. So we'll take this. This we can just take energy out of. We don't need the straightaway adaptant. That's a pretty good speed training. Do we have a medium debut, though? You have a medium debut. When's my next medium debut? There's one next turn. And there's one the turn after that. I would be comfortable taking speed here, then. That's a pretty good speed training. I think we'll get a worse training on one of these next 2 days. Okay. That's an average training. These are all average trainings. I am really tempted by this, though, because it puts Marvelous Sunday to gold. But every turn that I take a training here instead of running my debut, I'm getting greedier and greedier. So I can't be doing this forever. We'll take Blue Bloom. So Rainbow Speed. Other trainings are fairly lackluster. How much speed am I getting out of that? 18 and 11? That's not amazing, and it really does unkind things to my energy. Let's take our debut race now. Okay, there we go. I also think I might want to take a guaranteed minus 15 on this, because it means if we see a rainbow wit, that our energy won't be totally scuffed. Take +4 energy. That's an okay turn to take off in wit. It may make our next turn safe enough, especially if we see energy recovery. That's obviously a great turn to just take wit. It totally repairs our energy recovery and also does like 100 other things. God, can you imagine if we'd won our debut, though? Single rainbow on speed, single rainbow on wit. I don't want to burst on power. That's not a horrible stamina training. It pushes Rice Shower and Vodka into gold territory, and it works on 2 spirit trainings. It's going to make energy shaky late November, but we could fix it with Rainbow Wit. Or with a recovery. We could also just take Practice Perfect here and lock it in for after the Sumair Stakes. So let's make sure we have it. These are both too risky to take. I wouldn't mind rolling Wit here and then running the Hopeful Stakes on late December if the training options are bad. That's a really nice speed training, but 18 is just a little too scary for my blood. I think we can go for the Hopeful Stakes this turn. I don't have a ton of faith in my stat line for it. But we don't really have anything to buy. Straightaway Adept at 136 is just a little too expensive for me. The Wit is not good. I'll gamble on trying to win the Hopeful Stakes. Why not? Fourth? Okay, bad gamble. Very bad gamble. Extremely bad gamble. I'll take the guaranteed minus 20 and then just get it back in the New Year's recovery. We probably should have just taken the Wit. The Wit was probably the safer play there. We're not going to buy... Well, you know what? Actually, we could buy extra tank here, and then we could make ourselves the long runner, just to make sure that we have more stamina than anybody else who's, like, anywhere on this. So let's put us to medium. We'll go medium pace. Rice Shower is fine running mediums. Vodka's an Eon Mile. Everything else is very, very not good. But I think with an early stamina recovery, we should be fine on longs. Tazuna does not agree, but let's see if she's wrong. I want to know if we win the long race specifically. We do win the long race. Interesting. Tazuna did not think that would happen. We also win the whole thing, which is nice, but us winning the long race is a good piece of information to know. Alright. 20 energy, please. We're looking for a rainbow wit on January early. We're not going to get it, but it is an okay wit training. The rest of these are actually quite bad. I may just take a full rest here. Get all of our energy back. And then we can take good trainings through the rest of the year. Or the early part of the rest of the year, at least. Like, that's a great speed training that we would take regardless, and the fact that Vodka's already at gold is just gravy. It also pushes Fine Motion to gold, so we have both of our wit cards online for rainbow training, which is just going to make our energy management that much easier. I wouldn't actually mind taking a hint for Corner Adept instead of 15 Guts. We may actually buy that. That's also a really interesting training. But I think the stamina training is just better. It puts Rice Shower to burst. It builds more stats. It is unfortunate that we can't get Biko to Gold Friendship off that training, but I think that's a good stamina training. And it helps us build up our stamina to make sure we hit 800 by the end of the run. Do I care about buying anything yet? Straightaway Adept at 4, I think that is now cheap enough for me to be interested in it. This is only an open, so we should be fine. Yeah, okay. And then the next thing we're looking forward to is Satsuki Show on early April, although we may not have the fans to enter it right now because we only came in 3rd at the Hopeful Stakes. Let's check. We do have enough fans to enter it. Okay. Double Rainbow Speed is not really what we're looking for at this point, but all of the rest of these trainings are not that good. So we're probably gonna take it anyway. If Wit was just a little better, I would have taken Wit there, but it was not. Bursting on Wit, on the other hand, is fine. That's exactly where we want to spend bursts, and it repairs our energy a little bit. We're going to get a ton of stamina out of this. Ooh, a couple green skills as well. I don't think either of those are going to be that useful to us, but it's interesting to see them pop up. That's a good burst on stamina, but I would really like to patch fans up here. So let's run the Satsuki Show. 4th again is rough. Our speed is low. If Tazuna tells you anything about your speed or your stamina, she is usually not lying to you. So the fact that she's saying our speed is low probably means that our speed is low. That's something to work on. This is fine for Wit, just to recover our energy a bit. This is also fine for Wit, just to recover our energy a bit. I would really like to see a good speed training sometime relatively soon. I would also like to see an event that fixes my mood, so that I don't have to spend time on it. It could be today. This could be a recreation turn. I would have rather had the energy up, but I'll take it. I'll take 5 speed, 5 wit over 10 guts. It's an okay speed. It's a really nice power, but I don't need the power burst. It's a bad wit. Is there a race this turn that we haven't won? There's the Mermaid Stakes that we haven't won, so we could race, and then we could rest late June. I really don't want to rest now, because we're going to overflow most of our energy. I'd rather get a little extra out of it late June. And if it means that late June means passing up on a good training, then so be it. That's life. I think this will just be a nice energy spend. So a G3, our speed should not be a problem. I get not having enough speed to win a G1. We're also going to be the front runner in this race because there's no front runners and we're way out ahead of everybody else right now. But that's fine. We're still mechanically a pace chaser. We get a slight boost for it. It just means that we're not going to get blocked in late race, which is a nice little buff. We also don't have to worry about pace down at all. We are the pace setter. We give pace down to other people if they get too close. But it does not look like that's going to happen. Pace down ending around now. And then we're just looking for some acceleration in the late race transition. Our power is not amazing. So it is entirely possible that we might not jump off the line the way that we would like to. But we'll see. So far it looks great. Yeah, I think we'll be A-okay. So we outstat a G3. We definitely don't outstat a G1 though. Off she goes. I don't think there's any universe where Agnestakon catches up here. Good straightaway add-up trigger. We'll get all of the benefit out of that. Boom. Alright, good. It patches up our fans a little bit. It unlocks us an extra trophy, so we don't have to do it later. Between the Kikuku, we might need to run one more G1. Like, if we could run the Japan Cup in late November, I think that would be perfect. It's a good wit training, but it's not enough to repair our energy going into summer break, so let's take a full rest. Minus 30 is unfortunate, but it's still not that bad. Team is looking weak. I would really rather have C's at this point. We've got 357. Rice has 317. Kita-san has 206. This is looking like a swap between me and Kita-san for our long runner. And then Rice, you've got good stamina, so you can actually go back to the long slot. We'll just bring Kita-san over to the medium. Dirt is fine. Mile's probably fine. Medium's okay. We should be able to hold down long, although NPC runners are probably getting closer to being able to outstam us, and then sprint is going to be a wash. But if we draw like a 3200 long racer up, I think we're loving life. I'm going to choose to not believe the prediction because I think I know something Tazuna doesn't know. It's a 2600. That's not quite long enough to benefit from us just outstamming people. But it's still good for a 4-1. That's probably the last time we can benefit from just outstatting people in the Unity Cup, though. Burst on stamina is pretty good. I think I'm fine to take that. I would love for this to be a rainbow wit. Otherwise, it's probably going to be a rest. That is indeed a rainbow wit. I wish I could take that speed, because that's a good speed, but this is just going to be safer. Rainbow Guts is definitely not something I'm interested in. It's kind of compelling to take a power training to get Biko to gold and to bump Taiki to Spirit Burst, but I don't think it's worth taking off the next turn. So I think we just rest here to get all the way back up to 100. And then we can take any good training that we see on the last turn. Ideally double rainbow speed. I'll take 10 power, please. Okay, not double rainbow speed, but a good wit training that gets Biko to gold. That's good enough for me. Speedstar is a really nice hint to grab. Single rainbow speed, single rainbow burst on stamina. Wouldn't mind it, but I'm getting a little concerned about speed again. I think we might need to start aggressively training speed in these last 8 turns. We can leave stamina alone after that. Our stamina's fine. That is not a speed training. This is not an anything training. What are my races like today? We've won you. We've won you. We haven't won you. We'll do the Saint Light Keenan. And then after this, we gotta train heavy speed. Just to make sure that we actually finish this career. Here we actually have front runners, so we're not going to be some weird pace chaser front runner. We have 2 front runners? What is number 6 doing? Where are you supposed to be? I think you're supposed to be a front runner, you're just not very good at it. Yeah, there they go. Wow, insanely early recovery. Okay. It's not gonna matter, because we've definitely got enough stamina to finish this race. But I would like to see a little bit more movement here mid-race, instead of just getting bogged down by all these other pace chasers. Everybody around you is faster right now. Let's try and make up a little ground here if you can. Getting there. I would still like to see some more, like, forward movement here, though. I'd also like to see you get out of traffic, because you are heavy in traffic right now. He's starting to shift to the outside. She has a lane. Okay, she's not going to get blocked. But you still have a lot of people to run past at the front of this pack. There you go. Okay. Alright, I think we're good. She took her sweet time getting there, but she did eventually get there. Actually, holy cow, Rudolph is very fast behind us. Oh my god, please, no velocity up. Please don't be so fast. There, okay. Holy cow, she looks scary for a second. Alright, good. At least if we don't get anything else done, we're unlocking trophies today. Minus 20 is unfortunate, but we have enough energy to tank it. I would love to burst on Wit. Okay, not a skill we're going to be using. And then Kikukusho should just be a stamina check. I don't really... Well, God, Speed Star, though. We're at 306. Okay, well, so you know you're not going to get Adrenaline Rush. So you can ignore that. You're going to need like 300 skill points for cooldown, assuming you win the final Unity Cup round. You're going to need like 300 points for It's On. I think we can get 500 to 600 points in senior year. Let's grab a skill that is going to increase our ability to win races, because I would like to not fail out of a career. Good. By distance, very good. And we're at 49,000 fans right now. So if we win the Arima, we should be fine on fan thresholds for unique upgrades. It's a beautiful stamina training. Lots of extra supports there. We can skip the Japan Cup. I don't think we're going to need it. This probably does mean this turn is a rest, though. And then we'll spend early December. I would rather have Speed Wit here. I think we'll be fine on stamina. And I'm oddly compelled to take this speed training, because I'm nervous about our speed. So I think we just take that. It spends a little bit of energy. There is a small case here for... Well, there's definitely a case for it now. We'll take 10 free energy, and then I think we're just going to grab skill points out of the senior year January 1 event. We don't need the energy. We're basically full on energy, so we can explore some other options. We could also just take stats. We'll walk through it. Second is probably fine. Yeah, we're at 70. Okay. We're perfect on fan thresholds. Unfortunate to not win the arena, but we're good on fan thresholds. Show me Unity Cup, and then we'll talk about our options after that. We're getting into C's territory. How are you guys looking on stamina? 448. 527. We're at 480. Rice is probably a better long runner than we are at this point, so I'll stay on medium. These predictions continue to look unfriendly. Let's drop down one rank, just to play it a little safe. Good thing we did. I don't think we were beating the team above us if we're going 3-2 against the middle rank team. And then we need to get some heavy burst going on in the first half of senior year. So before that, this was also a comment in one of the last videos that said that I might overvalue taking energy out of these events. I maintain that energy is the most efficient choice you can take from these events. 30 energy is about 1.5 trainings. And the way that I like to think about energy in UMA is how many stats are you getting per point of energy you spend. So if you look at the middle option here, where you're getting 25 stats, I can get, on a good speed training, probably 40 to 45 stats out of 21 energy. So if I have the option to take 30 energy or 25 stats, I can turn this 30 energy into like 70 stats. So this is definitely a better exchange rate than this is. It's a little harder to compare for skill points, but 35 skill points is roughly winning like a G2, I think. And again, I can win a G2 with as little as 5 energy or as much as 20 energy, which means that I could turn 30 energy into like anywhere from 50 to maybe 80 skill points if I'm lucky. This energy option is always the most efficient. But we can't take the energy here because we're full on energy. This is the reason that I try to spend down energy when we're going into junior and senior year, or classic and senior years, because I know that the energy choice is the most efficient. Since we can't take it here, it becomes a question of would I rather have stats or would I rather have skill points? And because I know that our skill point budget is probably fine right now, we can run 1 or 2 extra races in senior year and still be able to buy all the skills that we want. I'm actually going to take the worst option here, which is a burst of vigor, just because it helps shore up my stats relative to these other options. So that's my rationale for taking energy out of classic year and senior year. If you can help it, you should almost always take energy, in my opinion. And not only should you generally try and take energy, but you should plan your energy going into classic year and senior year so that you can take advantage of it, because it is that strong. But in this case, it just didn't work out for us, so we're going to take one of the other 2 options, and that's okay if it doesn't work out that way. We're going to continue to take good speed trainings here just to shore up our stats that allow us to like win races. We're also doing okay on team rank here, so I don't need to chase spirit trainings as hard as I was previously, although we are only at 5 bursts right now, and we do still need to find 5 more, so we can't ignore it completely. None of these look great, so it seems like a decent option to just take Wit, and it does build Ogre's spirit training technically, even if I don't think she's very likely to actually get to a spirit burst threshold. It's an okay Wit. It's also an okay speed, and it's pursuant to our spirit training goals, so we wouldn't mind taking that over a Wit, even though the Wit is a nice energy recovery. We'll get our useless hint for Plan X. Here I think we're fine to take a Rainbow Wit, because these other trainings are fairly underwhelming, and we don't really want to burst on Guts. So let's keep rolling Wit. I don't think there's any way we get to 800, but I do think running double Wit is just making this deck a little smoother overall, and I guess if we get super lucky with bursts, we could get there. At this point, though, we need to be pretty careful with our skill points. So I don't think we're buying anything. I think we're just continuing to save because we know that it's on and cooldown are hopefully pending. It's again unfortunate, but I think we're just going to be losing races to speed at this point. Spring Tenno we should be fine on because that's a stamina check. But we need to get our speed up to like 600, 700 by the end of the year. We'll probably use Summer Break as an opportunity to do that. Corner Adaptant, like Surge Hint, probably not going to use either of those. We're at least above our fan threshold. That's a great speed training. I don't think we ask any questions about that. We just take it. And then at 559 stamina, we may want to think about buying another recovery. I believe cooldown is the upgraded version of Deep Breaths. I'm going to double check quick. Yes, so cooldown is the upgraded version of Deep Breaths. I'll just grab Deep Breaths because we know we're going to need it eventually. And then we'll head into the Tenno. Between our recovery and the white recovery skills, we should be fine. Yeah. A-okay. So we at least know that we can win long races that are stamina checks. A hint for extra tank doesn't help us because we bought it already. And from this point on, we are really trying to save our skill points up. We'll take this wit training because it builds up Hishiakibono and Smart Falcon towards potential bursts. I really don't want to burst on speed, and especially not at 16%. So I think this may be a rest, even though it's not a half-bad training as far as spirit training is concerned. I just really don't want to fail that training. I think failing that training is disastrous for the rest of the run. These are all quite bad. Any races to run early June that we haven't won yet? None that we're good at, so we might just take a really bad wit this turn. Reserve energy. And then I guess we burst on speed. I really don't want to. But it does consume a burst before our next Unity Cup round. It's not ideal, especially because it's going to drain our energy going into summer break. I'm gonna gamble. I'm gonna gamble on somehow surviving this Unity Cup round. I don't exactly know how yet, and then just getting better trainings in summer break. I'm feeling a little behind the curve, and it's leading to me wanting to take some riskier decisions so that we can try and catch up a bit. That is not an attractive prediction, but I would really like to be rank 5 or up going into the final round. Okay, pretty bad, but we can still win the final round. We're going to be 11 heading into the Unity Cup finals. That's a better burst. Although that's a really nice stamina, and it puts Kitasan at burst. I'll use that to spend energies just a little more efficiently. I'm actually fine taking this speed training to build speed. But after this, we need to burst on stamina almost exclusively, or we're going to fall behind. I can't take that guts training. Not a great power training. We're just gonna rest here. And that's a great wit training to repair the rest of our energy and also progress some spirit trainings. So we have both wit and stamina at 600. We'd like to have them both at like 730 if we want a chance at hitting 800 by the end of the career. I think we need to take only stamina and wit trainings for the rest of the game and just hope that somehow our speed works itself out. It's a pretty good wit training, all things considered. It's not an efficient spend of energy, but it is a good wit training. I'm half tempted to grab Stam Power here because I know that I can probably build the energy back. Like that. How many bursts am I at right? 6? So that's 7. I don't think I have any more of them saved up, though. So this would be 8. It pushes Ogre to 9. I think I need to try and get more bursts. This run feels like it's starting to go off the rails at the end. At least we're winning races. I would love to get energy back here. So, effectively, we've got 6 turns until the end. We probably need to try and bring stamina up a little bit. Wit is getting there. But we're probably going to have to give up on hitting 10 bursts, which is going to be rough. We're so close on both of these runs, we're just not quite there. But let's see if we can manifest something here at the end. We're so far behind on bursts, we didn't even get max hints for Ignited Spirit. That's tough. I think I have to train through all of these days and just hope that Wit manifests itself to give us our energy back. I really can't afford to burst on speed. I need those bursts to go on stamina and Wit right now. Oh, this is gonna be shaky. There's a small chance, but it requires a lot of things going right. It requires winning the Unity Cup finals, or the Team Zenith Showdown, which is not a guarantee. It requires getting good trainings for our last 3 turns. It requires probably getting like 1 or 2 more spirit bursts from somewhere. It also requires winning this race, which maybe we got a little ahead of ourselves here. I thought this was... Okay, it is a lock. Okay, we just got unlucky one time. It is actually a lock. We're good. Alright, let's see how we do against Zenith. This is going to be very sketchy. We have a single B rank runner on Sprint. And then everybody else is Cs. I shouldn't need to adjust any of this. What's stamina looking like? 685, 657, 549, 520. Alright, one of you should probably come to medium. Let's swap us and Palmer. And then swap us and Rice, because we have the stamina to handle a long race, and neither of these two look like they do. I don't think I really need to change anything else. We're just hoping to outstam them, basically. It's sketchy predictions. This could be 5-0 or 0-5. Holy cow, we win. Okay. One thing in our list of 5 things that have to go right has gone right. There is a long road ahead of us, but one thing has been successful. That's technically a second thing going right, but it makes our energy really sketchy. I think I have to rest. And then we need to hit a burst on stamina training and a burst on wit training on the last 2 turns. And then I think we hit both our thresholds. I don't even know if we have 2 bursts right now, but that's what we need to hit. No burst anywhere. So we need to pick one stat to get to 800 for our best chance. It's more likely that Wit will be able to get there because we have more Wit cards in the deck. So let's try and prioritize that. We also do still need to win the finale, which is going to be its own problem. Because we got pretty thoroughly trounced by the Zenith team last time. And we don't have Head On this time to help us either. We got none of our bursts on either training day. That's catastrophic. I guess we take Wit and cross our fingers. God, so the medium race and the long race, I have felt like we are so close. We are so close to A rank. I'm gonna burn alarm clocks on this, even though I'm pretty sure it's futile. Like, the prediction is unkind to us right now. Oh, never mind. Okay. Where... We won the finals. Oh, because we're not S rank. Because we never hit S rank, they didn't show up. I was like, where the hell are Glace and Coco? But we never hit S rank, so we never got its on. So we never saw them in the finals. Huh. Okay. I mean, that's its own problem, because now we don't get its on. But we do at least get cooldown. But we didn't hit 800 stam or Wit because our luck fell apart at the end of that run. 791, 742. Like, we're so close. We are so close to being able to hit A rank with this deck, and it just cannot quite get there. Oh, so we're into Spark territory. Ignited Spirit Speed. We're definitely building a long runner here, so grab a few useful generic long hints. And we're definitely a pace chaser because we took Speed Star. We'll just grab Professor of Curvature. And then, like, Corner Recovery is a nice generic skill to have as a White Spark. God, there's an A-rank trainer aptitude deck in there somewhere. It's in there, man. It is somewhere in there. I am losing my mind trying to find it, though. Between the two Grass Wonder runs yesterday and these two Creek runs, I'm like, I need my own cooldown. We're so close. We are so close. Yeah, 11-1. That one wasn't going anywhere, but we were almost in there. Alright, so the long test, 14,495, we need to hit 15. The medium test, 13,897, we need to hit 15. That one's real close. The mile test, 13,147, this one needs a bit of work. I think I got trapped by the guts rating. But on Monday, we're going to give the dirt test a try, which I think is going to be really tricky. Because 800 or more power is weird. 800 or more guts is weird. And I don't have access to Indomitable Center Stage or Lead the Charge. Dirt Test for sure, I think, is just going to be a B rank runner. And we may actually take the opportunity on the Dirt Test to just go build our Dirt Team Trials El Condor Passat. Because as long as we can get to like 9,000 rank, we'll at least ensure we hit B. And the reason we want to ensure we hit B is because we come into the event missions and we go to limited time. If we hit a B rank at least on 7 tests, we get ourselves a little bit of carrots. A rank on 5 would be nice. I think the title's going to be out of our reach, and I think the event coins are going to be out of our reach. But we're going to keep working on it until the end of this event, because I think we're really close on a lot of these. So let's claim our rewards. Let's pop into the shop. We've at least... Oh, we haven't. We still need to get the Rainbow Crystal and Gold Crystal. Alright, we'll start saving up for those, because I would like to get those. Let's go knock our daily races out of the way. Let's also claim all of our special missions and stuff. Sure. 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 We'll save the bingo spins. Go knock out our team trials runs. We should still be miles ahead of the promotion line right now. But we'll double check after this. Dude, our sprint team trial is so sad, man. It's just boxing in there by yourself. It needs so much work. Okay. And then carrots are 19,263. So when that Matikane banner shows up, I think we're probably going to pull on it. It's going to be, I think, 10 free 10 pulls, which is basically half pity. And then we can spend 15,000 carrots. We can get to the other half of pity, and then we'll stop, and we'll carry over a few carrots into whatever the next banner is as well. I think that's the play. But I would really like to upgrade some of these support cards just to get a little better results out of the careers we've been doing. Good. Mummy Creekskin in class 3? Did you, like, and Fuji, did you pull on support cards at all? Apparently not. Not to be rude or anything, but I think you spent all of your carrots on trainees, and I thank you for my high score. We'll see what we've got in the daily shop. Alarm clocks for sure. We've been burning those like crazy. Medium racing shoes, NHK Mile Cup. We run those races relatively frequently. I'm not going to worry too much about those. We'll go to our last team trials race. You also have a lot of characters. You've got a Hishi Akabono and a Kawakami Princess and a Wedding Air Groove in there. Did you also spend all of your money on trainees? It's looking like a yep. Good. Daiwa in 5th. We gotta rebuild that Daiwa, man. She's bringing us down. We gotta rebuild that Taiki, too. No shortage of things to do. But that should take care of team trials for tomorrow, because tomorrow's promotion. We're at 179. We're at 280. We need to be above 179, so we'll be class 4 tomorrow. That will get us an increasing amount of carrots, which is going to help drive us towards more pulls. Let's keep getting some money. Good. We'll take our second daily shop, and then we'll go do our bingo spins, and we'll be done. Oh, man. I forgot to buy alarm clocks and check shoes. Whoops. That's my bad. I've said it in like every video. I really like the trainer aptitude tests. I think it's a cool event. I think that trying to strategize around hitting those specific goals and benchmarks is good. It feels approachable for somebody who's a relatively new account. Like, I feel like I can participate in that event even though I've only been playing for like 2 weeks. There's going to be some stuff that's probably off limits to us. Like, the extra test in particular looks extremely hard, and I don't think we have any shot of doing that. It requires like 20,000 score instead of 15 to hit A. But it's a cool event, and I'm having fun with it. So if you're looking forward to making some revisions to our decks, revisions to our runs, seeing if we can improve our results even further on those trainer aptitude tests, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to keep running it for as long as that event is active, and then we'll get back to working on stuff like parents and team trials runs. And if you have any questions or comments about the strategies that we used in the video today, drop me a line in the comments. I'm happy to keep reading the stuff that you guys are telling me. I've learned a bunch that I didn't even know about how the game works, and it's fun to theory craft and think about ways that we can improve. But until then, I've been Chef. Enjoy the rest of your day.